I decided to call this particular media therapy deep dive session The Beauty of Imperfection. And that's because that's exactly what we are. All of us. Imperfect people living in an imperfect world. That's what makes us human. And that's the only way to do it. Because it's the imperfect things that we do. And we all do them imperfectly. But it's one of the most essential parts of being human. And even those of us who strive for perfection, it's impossible. But we do like a challenge, don't we? Hello, Governor. This is Rakasti, Noop from the Ville, and I'm back at last to finish Arcane, Season 2, Episode 9, The Dirt Under Your Nails. Now, where we left off, the Noxians, under the lead of Ambessa, are attacking. Jace had called everyone from Piltover and Zaun to try to defend the city, but he knew he couldn't. Ambessa was going to team up with Viktor, and he knew that if he let Ambessa get to Viktor, and Viktor made it to the Hex Gate, to the Hex Vault, that would mean the death of everything. Ambessa, being so short-sighted in her ambition, didn't realize that by teaming up with Viktor, giving him exactly what he wanted, he didn't want what she wanted. He wanted to end all of humanity. Now, what we find out is that Caitlyn gets ambushed by Maddie. Maddie turns out to be a double agent. She's secretly working for Ambessa. It couldn't be that she got jealous when Caitlyn accepted Vi back into her bed. It's not like we said that that was going to be a bad idea. It's not like Ambessa told her that that was a bad idea. Where was HR? Just when it looks like Ambessa and they have things wrapped up, to the rescue, here comes Ekko. But the big reveal is the way that they come in on the specialized balloon that's all painted, and it looks like, oh, here's Jinx. Now, Ekko had to literally talk her down off the ledge because she was going to end it and unalive herself. She's just tired of this cycle of death and loss that she's on, and she's been taking a lot of L's. Even though she is the symbol of hope for Zaun, she doesn't see it that way. She's tired. Now, this battle is going on out front, and they don't understand that it was all a ruse. They were all led astray because Viktor's not even here. Viktor's already made his way to the Hex Vault, but Jace is there to stop him. Vander is no longer Vander. Warwick is some minion of Viktor's now. He's part of the Hive Mind. And he attacks Jinx and Vi because he doesn't recognize them. He's gone. Vander is gone. Maddie attempts to assassinate Caitlyn by shooting her in the back of the head by Ambessa's orders, but Mel puts a protective spell around Caitlyn, and it ricochets, and it ends up killing Maddie. She killed herself with her own gun. Yay, dummy. Caitlyn managed to get stabbed by Ambessa. However, Caitlyn also managed to cut off the runes that were on Ambessa's arm that were protecting her, and Mel finally had an end. And Mel used the thing that was given to her by the Black Rose, and Ambessa's gone, and she's now in the custody of the Black Rose. However, Mel got to thinking, listen, I know you got a problem with my mama. I got a problem with my mama. But at the end of the day, that's still my mama. And the agent of the Black Rose, and I don't think it was LeBlanc, but they tried to, talk real spicy to Mel. And Mel said, oh, you must don't know who I am. And Mel used her magic, and she went all Dark Phoenix and took them out. But Ambessa, a real G. And if I had some liquor right now, I'd pour out some for a real G. She was playing chess when everybody else was playing checkers. She just don't know that Viktor is a better chess player. She dies in Mel's arms. But the one thing she says is, and she basically looks at Mel like, respect, boo. I didn't think you had it in you. I thought you was soft as baby ass, but I see it now. You got a lot more of me in you than I thought. You a wolf too. So Vi and Jinx are fighting for their lives against Vander, the new Warwick. Jinx decides to drop, and that way killing the new Warwick is sacrificing herself to save Vi. Meanwhile, the boy's savior, Ekko, realizes that the real battle is between Jace and Viktor. And it gets next level, spiritual, paranormal, what have you. But Ekko, being that he can reverse time, he's flying through all the little minions, the little iRobots that Viktor's got coming at him, and every time they catch him or whatever, he rewinds time a few seconds. He rewinds time a few seconds. See what I did there? But there's one time that they catch him and he can't rewind far enough. So he goes past the 4-second limit because he needs to get past it in order to do what he's got to do. And his last ditch effort is he takes the time device itself and throws it at Viktor. The thing is, as smart and on another level plane that Viktor is, he doesn't see it coming. He says that device that Ekko's made in another timeline, in a multiverse, should not even be possible. And it's through this that Viktor and Jace both see the error of their ways. The most beautiful thing that happened is there's a conversation between Jace and Viktor, where Viktor explains that he wanted to end humanity because his entire life he had suffered with affliction and being imperfect and not being like anyone else and not fitting in because of that imperfection, his maladies, his sickness, his being handicapped. And Jace told him, that's what drew me to you. That's what I admired the most about you, is the beauty of that imperfection. How you rose to the occasion and you were still better than everyone else. To a point where Jace, I don't know if anyone else, but at least Jace didn't see whatever afflicted Viktor. Viktor was brilliant, and Jace saw it. The problem was that Jace was corrupted by power for a little bit. There was two men having this conversation, and they couldn't see the good in themselves, only in each other. And it took that moment for them to get together and compare notes, to be like, oh, we effed up. They work together they destroy the wild rune, and they disappear. We have no idea what happens to them. It appears that Jinx falls to her death. But if you go back and watch the scene, watch it real closely, there could be a reprieve. The Hollywood rule is if you didn't see the body, ain't no body, ain't no death. There looks like some things that suggest that maybe, just maybe, Jinx made it out. The flash of light, Caitlyn looking at the plans, seeing the vents going out of the tower, the white blimp going across the sky at the very end of the show, when in season 1, episode 1, Jinx says, one day, I'm gonna ride one of those out of here. Kawinky dink? I think not. Zaun finally gets their place at the table, and Savika ends up being the representative for Zaun at the council. Mel decides to leave because now she's taken Ambessa's place, and she's basically, a general or something like that. She's commanding Ambessa's troops, and she leaves to return to Noxus. And Singed, we forgot about Singed, and he started this whole thing. He created Shimmer. He's done a lot. He cures his daughter, and she gets one of those iRobot bodies or whatever. And really, that's all that he wanted to do. And then at the end, we see Vi and Caitlyn sitting there kind of pondering their future. You know that I love my quotes. I have 3. First one is Isaac Fowler. And he says, your imperfections are marks of authenticity, and that is the beauty of you. Second one is from Bob Ross. And he says, it's the imperfections that make something beautiful. That's what makes it different and unique from everything else. And the third one is from Sam Keen. And he says, we come to love not by finding a perfect person, but by learning to see an imperfect person perfectly. This was an absolutely amazing swan song to one of the greatest series that's ever been on TV. And I don't say that lightly. There's plenty of other series that you can think of. The Wire, Breaking Bad, The Sopranos. There's a number of them that might be your top 5, top 3. And Arcane might not even break into your top 10. Why, I don't know. Because if you take everything being everything, I know a lot of people downplay it, downgrade it because it's animated. And for some reason, that gives them a pause on how they see things. Animation is just the medium. It's the device that they use to tell the story. And tell the story they did. They did a wonderful thing with character development for most all the characters that were in the cast. They told a beautiful story, artistic. The backdrops, the environment was part of the story. It was a character of the story. The music was a part of the story. They dropped so many Easter eggs and callbacks to previous things for those of us that love nostalgia and those of us that love those little Easter eggs and things. They did all of that. Was it perfect? No. But honestly, what could be perfect? There is no property known in the history of man that's going to be perfect, that everyone sees it as perfection. I don't care what it is, someone's going to hate on it. Again, the beauty of imperfection. Because this was an imperfect vehicle to tell this story, but it was told perfectly. What it gave us was perfection. The beauty of perfection is the idea that flaws And irregularities can make something more interesting, unique, appealing. It can also be about seeing imperfections as a gift that has the power to inspire others. The way that Jace saw Viktor. The way that you might see athletes who come from circumstances that are gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, and rise to greatness. Entertainers. Now, why do I say athletes and entertainers? And why is that always like the first thing that people go to? Because it's something that we can all relate to. You might not follow sports, but you've seen that dude on TV. The thing about imperfection is that the beauty of imperfection is diversity. And I know nowadays that's a dirty word. We don't like talking about diversity. The political climate of this country has made it crazy to talk about diversity. But when people from all over the world clamor to get into the United States, that is one of the reasons. They are looking for a better life. And because somewhere, someone, the internet, somebody's telling them that America celebrates diversity and you can get rewarded for your hard work. And in one hand, that's true. It's just that we don't talk about what's in the other hand. That a lot of America hates diversity. They hate anything that's different than them. They hate change. They don't want to try. They don't want to take the risk. Not understanding that we have come this far because of that diversity. People, their beauty comes in all sizes, shapes, genders, races, complexities. Life is difficult. Life is complex. We have to celebrate every bit of it. The thing about the beauty of imperfection, well, we got to the end and we couldn't see that Viktor and Jace could see the beauty in themselves, and that's because your validation comes from within. You have to celebrate you. If not you, who, boo? Who gonna do it? I feel like too, when I make these, like sometimes I talk about depression and my own mental challenges a lot, and sometimes I hate talking about it because I feel like that's an excuse. It's a crutch to be leaned on. But I also realize too that me talking about it makes it an easier conversation for someone else who's not ready to talk about it. For someone else who's watching this video and be like, well, if that dude can talk about his, maybe I can talk about mine. That's why it took me a long time to put out this video. I had all my notes done. I was ready to go. As a matter of fact, out of all of the episodes of Arcane that I watched, this one was the one that I was ready to go with almost as soon as it went off. Like, I was ready. But I couldn't. And it's taking me the longest to do. Just because I want to make sure that what I said was right. What came out of my mouth was right. Sometimes it's hard to recognize your worth. We base it on achievements and appearance, and I fall into that trap too. I haven't felt good about myself in a while, just because of all the weight that I've gained over the years. Depression has put it on my ass. Depression, divorce, being unfulfilled career-wise. And I'm on a different plane now, and I'm moving different, I'm thinking different, trying to eat different, trying to be different, working towards the best me that's possible. And it's a process, and it's ongoing. I'm losing weight, not as fast as I would like. And, my 6-pack of abs that I've had on layaway for God knows how long, I can't quite get them out yet, but they there. I have them camouflaged well. I'm not going to stand up and show y'all, but they there. I remember I went to the doctor and I have a bleeding ulcer, and it's caused by stress. And I know the doctor said that, surgery was the last option. He said, but what I could do in the meantime was find a way to decrease my stress. Whew. So easy. Why didn't I think of that? I'm just stressing myself for no damn reason. Listen, I am black in America. Boy, what are you talking about? Decrease your stress. I don't be doing nothing wrong, but when I see the police on the street, I get nervous as hell. My butt cheeks pucker up. Like, boy, what is you talking about? Yes, I would love to lead a worry-less life. Oh, sounds great. Point me in that direction. But I know a lot of times it's hard to recognize all the goodness and things that are around you that work in your favor. You have to shift your perspective. We have to know that our existence is temporary. And we have to do the best we can to be the best we can in this brief amount of time that we inhabit this earth. There is a Japanese aesthetic called wabi-sabi. I think I'm saying that right. But it's basically the appreciation of imperfection. And I remembered I did a nice amount of research in one of my earlier videos, one of the first videos that I shot on this page, maybe March of 2024, so March, April, was on one of the episodes of Invincible. And it was the appreciation of an art in Japan called kintsugi. And kintsugi is like you take a piece of porcelain, you take something that's broken, and you put it back together in its original shape. But because it's impossible to take a broken thing and put it back together exactly the way it was, because you'll never have all of the pieces. You may have the large pieces, but those little things, the cracks, you'll never have all of the things to fill it. They fill it. They put it back together using either silver, but usually gold. And that rare and precious metal highlights the cracks and becomes part of that piece's history. And I think that that's a beautiful sentiment. Because yes, I'm a broken person. And I'm steadily trying to heal and put myself together. And we all may be broken. But what you have to realize is that when you're trying to put yourself back together, and you think you're doing it with Band-Aids and sticky tape and glue, realize that if you are doing the right things, and I don't know what that is for you, eating well, working out, praying, reading, focusing on being the best you, then when you're putting yourself back together, you're doing it with gold. And you'll be even more valuable than you ever were. This is Rakai Steed, Nuke from the Ville. Make sure that you like, comment, share this video as much as possible. I know 70% of the people that come here, they don't subscribe, and I don't know why. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button. Make sure you go check out my other videos. There's a lot of other things that I've said, some things that you might, take into your life, might resonate with you. There's a few gems out there. They can't all be gems now, can they, Turkish? But there's a few out there. Make sure that whatever you do, it's about this. But even though it's about this, you gotta use this.